Okay, folks, I am back. I found out, you know what the issue was? I have this stupid thing called one-note updating. So when I shut down to reboot, it said one-note updating. I stopped that thing. I wanted it to do it like 4 o'clock in the morning, not when I'm doing my show. So I apologize for that. I want to get you guys back on. Are you guys back? I apologize for that. So there's going to be 2 little updates there for this video here. I apologize for that. I should have checked it. I have my task manager going. There's problems. I can't do this big update when I'm streaming. That's not the way it goes. Anyway, I'm sorry for that, folks. But anyway, we are back. So that was the reason. Because when I shut down, it said, do you want to close OneNote updating? And I'm looking at my task manager. I don't see it here. So I should check that the next time because I will stop that task. I don't want that even to happen. Why is that even happening? But anyway, we left off. I actually played we're talking about the Crows. Matt Reel requested the Crows G last week and featured it on the Rama label for him from May of 1953, the Crows with G, and we just heard I Love You So, that one there for Nick Nicola, Andrew Turner, and Darrell Letts. And by the way, John of Bip Bop Boom, that Mark actually dedicated a song to you by Little Willie John on my Monday night show that I played for you. It was called I'm Shakin'. So I played that on the King label for you, John, by request for Matt. By Matt to John. That was the dedication. Anyway, let's continue here. We just heard the Crows from May of 1953. Let's continue here. Let's move into 1954 now. And on last week's show, I featured Bill Robinson and the Quails on the Deluxe label. They were a group out of Miami, Florida. And for listener George Tompkins, George requested Lonely Star. But let's give a spin to the flip side before I file this one back down in the No Humidity basement. It's the debut single for this group on Sid Nathan's Deluxe Records. It's their first of 5 and very interesting title. So listen closely to the title of this song. It's from January 1954, Bill Robinson and the Quails on Deluxe. It's called Quit Pushin'.
I've got to stop my baby from pushing. Ooh, push, push, push. On the brakes, one push, push. On that launch, one push, push. That little baby love push, push. On that launch, one push, push. My little girl, one push, 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 push. My baby has the fever, satisfied and weird. The next time I saw my pretty baby, she was shoving and pushing on me. Why she want push, push, on that lawn she want push, push. That little baby love push, push. My little girl want push, push. On that lawn she want push, push. Ooh wee, she want push, 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 push. Try to be a decent guy, give her best in life, but all my baby ever want to be is a nagging wife. Why you want push, push, all night long you want push, push. My little baby want push, push. My little girl want push, push. All my baby want push, push. Ooh wee, she want push, 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 push. I wake up every morning feeling all out of my head, but when I began to open up my eyes, she pushed me out of my bed. Why she want push, push? That little baby want push, push. My little girl loves push, push. All night long she want push, push. My little baby want push, push. Ooh wee, she want push, 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 push. My little girl was foolish. That little baby was foolish. Ooh, bitch was foolish. My little baby.
January of 54 release there for Bill Robinson and the Quails on the deluxe label. Quit Pushin' is the name of the tune. That one there, the first of 5 for Deluxe Records. Let's continue. Here we stay. In 1954, this group is from the Washington Heights section of New York City, and this is a request for George Tompkins. It's their third release on Bobby and Danny Robinson's Red Robin record label. That is a label for you collectors to collect for sure. It features Charles Sampson on lead. This is by request for George, May 1954. Give a listen to the Velvets on Red Robin. It's called Tell Her.
Be sure to tell when you see her that she my only love, my only love, no more will I deceive her. I swear was the up above. Tell her if I was unkind, I paid for my crime. Time and time again, tell her if she'll take me back. I promised her that I'll never hurt her again. Tell her I'm lonely and she haunts me. So tell her when I'll be, and if my baby wants me, please send her back to me.
As by request for George Tompkins there, those are the Great Velvets from May 1954 on the Red Robin record label. Tell Her is the name of the tune. Charles Sampson, he was on lead for that one there. You can get this on the Pilgrim label, Pilgrim Records out of Massachusetts, the reissue. They must have either he sold them the masters for that record. There's a lot of the Red Robin reissues on the Pilgrim label. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening, as Fred Clemens calls it, part 2 of the Vinyl Treasure Show. We had some technical difficulties, some stupid update on my machine. Who cares about one note? I don't care about one note, especially when I'm doing the damn show. Anyway, let's continue here on Vinyl Treasures. This next group has 2 releases on a wine drinker. George is, I don't know, George, are you a wine drinker? Or I didn't want to say you were a hardcore liquor drinker, but anyway, well, except the young guys. Evan, you're too young. Who's too young? There's a bunch of young guys listening tonight, so you really can't No, actually, I see slight buffering is correct. Let me double check that again. So let's give a listen to the Bards here, May 1954 on Dawn. I'm a wine drinker.
Wine, 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 wine. I'm a wine drinker. Drink up all your wine. I'm a wine drinker. Drink up all your wine. Drink up all of yours and drink up all of mine. Wine, wine, wine. I'm a wine drinker, going to have myself a ball. I'm a wine drinker, going to have myself a ball. Drink up all your wine and baby, that ain't all. Got a wife in Georgia and a gal in Tennessee. Got a wife in Georgia and a gal in Tennessee. They drink that stuff and that's what worries me. Yet I love them both and I'm going to treat them right. Yes, I love them both and I'm going to treat them right. Gonna drink that stuff until my head gets tight. He's a wine drinker. 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 Drink up all your wine. Got a head like a melon, mind like a clock. When I get to loving, I don't know when to stop. I'm a wine drinker. Drink up all your wine. Drink up all of yours and drink up all of mine. When you see me coming, don't turn your head. Put away your whiskey, bring out your wine instead. I'm a wine drinker. Drink up all your wine. Drink up all of yours and drink up all of mine. Let's drink some wine. Let's drink some wine. Let's get together in all kinds of weather, but let's drink some wine.
There you go. Those are the Bards. The Bards there. I went to disable the OneNote. I totally disabled it, so hopefully you're not experiencing any buffering. It looks good. 67 kbs. That looks good. Thank you all for letting me know. If you start seeing any buffering, let me know because I see the stream is strong now. Thank you all for that. We just heard Johnny G getting all confused here. The Bards there, May 1954 on the Dawn record label. It's going out to all the wine drinkers out there. I'm a wine drinker. Johnny G does occasionally drink wine. Barbara doesn't. I will. If we go out, we have a couple glasses of wine. Don't like to drink and drive though. That is a no-no. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening spinning my original vinyl 45s. I apologize for the technical difficulties. I know how horrible that is, when you're watching something and it's like annoying. It's annoying for me, believe it or not, it is. But let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. We head to Cincinnati, Ohio with a request for Tom Shaughnessy. This group formed while they were in high school, and Cincinnati disc jockey Ernie Waits of WNOP became their manager and got them a contract with Herman Lubinsky's Savoy Records, and this was the group's third release for Savoy. Co-written by the lead singer. His name is Luther Bond. This is by request for Tom Shaughnessy, May 1955. Luther Bond and his Emeralds on Savoy Records with their tune. It's called It's Written in the Stars.
Oh,
nothing but stars, you know, shining up there in the night. It's written in the stars that I love you so. Written in the stars that I want you more and more. I try to pretend that I don't love you, but deep down inside of me, deep down inside, my love I can't hide. Oh, please come back, honey, please come back. Give me one more chance. Give me one more chance. I'll prove to you, I'll prove to you I'm true to our romance. I try to pretend that I don't love you, but deep down inside, deep down inside, my love I can't hide.
There you go. Those, whoops, that's Luther Bond. Luther Bond and the Emeralds there, May 1955 on the Savoy label by request for Tom Shaughnessy. It's written in the stars. That's the record covered by other artists. They changed the title up a little bit, but they like that record copied by other artists through the years. Johnny G here, spinning original vinyl 45s. Let's continue here. We are in 1955, and on last week's show, I played a request for listener Mady Campboy. She requested the B-side to the group's fourth single by the Five Keys on the Capitol record label, I Wish I Never Learned to Read. It was Daryl, I think, you requested the A-side of this 45. This charted number 6 on WHOD out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It features Marilyn Pierce on lead. We go back to July 1955, the great Five Keys on Capitol. It's called Don't You Know I Love You.
Don't you know I love you? Don't you know I love you? Don't you know I love you? Don't you know, don't you know, don't you know? Don't you know I love you? Don't you know I love you? Don't you know I love you? Don't you know, don't you know, don't you know? Oh, hey baby, can't you see what you do to me? Oh, I'm telling you, you're the sweetest little thing I ever knew. I take my heart and keep it. I take my heart and keep it. I take my heart and keep it. I keep my heart, keep my heart, keep my heart. Baby, you must be my That's what you are. Don't you know I love you? Don't you know I love you? Don't you know I love you? Don't you know, don't you know, don't you know? Ooh.
As by request for Darrell Letts. That's a pretty cool side. I like that. I like both sides of that Five Keys. Marilyn Pierce and the Five Keys, July 1955 release on the Capitol label. Don't You Know I Love You. That's their fourth release on the Capitol record label. Let's continue now. We are in 1955. Last week I played one for Daniel Kubacki. He requested the great Orioles on Jerry Blaine's Jubilee record label, their 48th release for the label. It was called I Need You Baby. It was listener George Tompkins said, Johnny G, can you flip that 45 over? So we're going to flip it over here. We send it out to George Tompkins here. The great Sonny Till on lead from March 1955. These are the Orioles. The Orioles on the Jubilee label. It's called That's When the Good Lord Will Smile.
When the dark clouds clear and blue skies prevail once more, oh, what a grand day I'm sure it will be. That's when the good Lord will smile, when all men are free to work, to love, to pray. Oh, what a great world I know it will be. And that's when the good Lord will smile. If we could have all believe in faith of fellow man, then with the help of our good Lord, we would revive a shattered world when the boys stay home and peace is on the earth. Oh, what a great day, a really great day. That's when the good Lord will smile. That's when the good Lord will smile.
That's going out to George Tompkins there. They don't make records like that anymore. No, they don't. The Orioles there, the great Sonny Till and the Orioles. March 1955 on Jerry Blaine's Jubilee record label. That's when the good Lord will smile. That's their 48th release. 48 records on the Jubilee label. And they had more. They did. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. We move into 1956. We head out to Philadelphia, PA with a request for Daniel Kubacki. Now, last week, Daniel requested the A-side of this Revels 45, the first of two on Bernie Lowe's Sound label. And last week I featured You Lied to Me, and this week Daniel requested the up-tempo flip. It features Sam Hart on lead. 1956, the great Revels out of Philadelphia. Sound Records, it's called Later, Later, Baby.
The same old track. Later, later, baby, later. So long, baby, later. Why do you have to go? I said goodbye, she turned her head. She said, I don't want you, daddy. Go ahead. Later, later, baby, later. So long, baby, later. Why do you have to go? I said, baby, baby, don't you catch that train. Yes, I said, baby, baby, don't you catch that train. She said, I'm leaving, daddy, I can't stand your name. I'll be right here when you get back, waiting at the same old track. Later, later, baby, later. So long, baby, later. Why do you have to go?
Later, baby. Those are the Revels. The Revels, very popular in the Philadelphia area, they are, and actually other parts of the United States also. They had great records, the Revels there. That one there on the Sound record label, Bernie Lowe's Sound Records, that was their first of two, called Later, Later, Baby from 1956. And the flip side of You Lied to Me, great two-sided. I have that on a 78 too, by the way. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening. We are spinning original vinyl 45s. This is the second go-round there after I figured out some stupid update on my machine. I'm going to try to splice the shows together so there isn't a part one and part two. I can do that also on my upstream, my streaming on my vinyltreasures.net. But let's continue here. We go to Chicago, Illinois now, to Leonard Allen's States record label. Lots of great stuff on the States label. This is the fourth and final release on States for this group. Features Dallas Taylor on lead. This one from September 1956. Give a listen to the Dandeliers. The Dandeliers on the States label. It's called My Love.
For eternity, faithfully I'll always be to you, my love, to you, my love, my heart. Yes, it's deep in loneliness, only your kiss can bring it rest. Only you, my love. Only my love. My love. Yes, my love. Yeah, without it, said I can't go wrong. I'm happiest when she's at home. So won't you please, oh please, come on home.
all I need when I'm all alone. I'd be happy if she'd come home. All I need is my love. My love. All I need is my
That's the great sound of the Dandeliers. The Dandeliers on the States record label, September 1956. My Love is the name of the tune. My other favorite by the group is called May God Be With You. I don't know if you know that tune, but that's a great 45. Also by the Dandeliers. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. We are in 1956. We head to Newport News, Virginia with this next request. It's for Rick in Philadelphia. It's the debut single for this group. They're known as the Avalons. This came out on the RCA subsidiary Groove Records. Now, Rick requested the jump side because the other side is a great ballad. You know that's coming next week. But Rick requested the jump side written by Jesse Stone, and the lead singer on this, his name is Bernard Purdy. He's the lead singer on this from February 56. These are the Avalons going out to Rick and Philly on Groove. It's called Ooh, She Flew.
I met a little cutie walking down the stem, a fine, fine kitten who was tall as him. I told her she was just the one I'm looking for, but when I took her hand to pull her in my car, ooh, she flew, ooh, she flew, ooh, she flew, ooh, 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 she flew, ooh, she flew, ooh, she flew, she flew, she flew, ooh, she flew, she flew the coop. I went around the corner, what did I see? An angel right from heaven looking straight at me. I shuffled up beside her saying, howdy do. She didn't say a single word, but ooh, she flew, ooh, she flew, ooh, she flew, ooh, she flew, ooh, 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 she flew, ooh, she flew, ooh, she flew, she flew, she flew, ooh, she flew, she flew the coop. Papa Jew, Papa Jew, Jew, Papa Jew, I told her, listen, baby, now this ain't no jive. If you be a pal of mine, I'll let you drive. She got behind the wheel and never said a word. Stepped down on my gas and left me on the curb. Ooh, she flew, ooh, she flew, ooh, she flew, ooh, 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 she flew, ooh, she flew, ooh, she flew, she flew, she flew, ooh, she flew, she flew, she flew the coop. Oochie, oochie, achi, choo, wappa, choo, wap. Yes, she flew. Choo, wappa, choo, wap. Ooh, she flew. Choo, wappa, choo, wap. Yes, she flew. Choo, wappa, choo, wap. I'm telling you, she flew. Choo, wap. Yes, she flew. Choo, wap. Ooh, she flew. Choo, wap. Yes, she flew. Choo, wap. Boy, she was flighty. Good gosh almighty, how she flew. Choo, wap. Choo, wap.
That's a debut single for the Avalons. The Avalons on the Groove record label. Ooh, She Flew from February 1956. There, Bernard Purdy on lead for that one. Let's continue here. And we are in the year 1956. Up next, this group originally from Gary, Indiana. You all know the great Spaniels. And it's a request for Daniel Kubacki. This is their 10th of 21 releases on Vivian Carter's VJ record label. And a nice cover version of this Buddy Johnson pen tune. It features Pookie Hudson on lead, and the echo is done by Will Jackson. He's echoing Pookie Hudson on this tune here from July 1956. Going out to Daniel Kubacki, the Spaniels on VJ, and their rendition of the tune Since I Fell for You.
You made me leave my happy home. You made me leave, yes, my happy home. My love and now you're gone. Took my love and now you're gone. Since I fell for you. Since I fell for you. Oh, love. Yes, it's love. Bring such misery. Love bring misery. I know I'll never feel the same. I'll never feel the same. Since I felt for you. It's too bad. Yes, it's too bad. And it's too sad. Yes, it's too sad. Baby, I'm in love with you. Well, you love me. Say that you love me. You snub me. How you snub me. Baby, what can I do? I still love you. I guess I'll never see light. I'll never see the light. I get the blues about every night. I get the blues about, yes, every night. Since I fell for you. Well, it's too bad. And it's too sad. Baby, I'm in love with you. Well, you love me. Said that you love me. You snub me. How you snub me. Baby, what can I do? I still love you. Yes, I'll never see the light. I'll never get those blues about every night. I get the blues about every night. Since I fell for you. I fell for you. Since I fell for you.
Cover tunes here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. That one there for listener Daniel Kubacki, the Great Spaniels, July 1956 release on VJ Records. Since I Fell for You is the name of the tune. If you're falling for these 45s every Saturday from 10 to 1 a.m., please subscribe to my YouTube channel and tell your friends about it here. Picked up a lot of subscribers over the last few weeks. Thank you all for finding out about the show and asking me all your questions and whatnot about the records I play. And really, I can't wait till I retire to be able to go through a lot of my records, find my dupe doubles and triplicates and get everything in order here, because that's really what I plan to do, but not till April 1st. April 1st is the date. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Now, last week I played a request for Nick Nicola on Henry Stone's Marlin label out of Miami, Florida. Very rare 45 by Little Iris Culmer. It was called Show Me the Way to Your Heart. Nick also requested the flip side, as both sides feature an uncredited group, but in reality, they are the Majestics. The Majestics that also recorded on the Marlin label. You may know their tune called Nighty Night, which I have played here on the show. So by request for Nick Nicola, Little Iris Culmer and the Majestics here, backing her up from 1956 on Marlin. My copy's rough. I bought it on eBay for like $200 a number of years ago. Really hard to come by. I would like to upgrade, that is for sure. Little Iris Culmer on Marlin. It's called Frankie, My Eyes Are on You. It's rough in the beginning. That's going out to Nick Nicola there, Little Iris Culmer there, 1956. And the Majestics, uncredited there on the Marlin label, Frankie, My Eyes Are on You. Started off kind of rough. It gets better as it goes in there. I see this stupid thing buffering again. You wait here. I'm looking at my Taskmaster here, Taskmaster, and really the OBS seems to be pulling the usages only. Everything else is low. But it seems to be, now see, it goes up and down. I don't know what the hell. I'm telling you, the cable service here in Westchester County is pretty crappy. The only option I have is with Verizon. Verizon is the only other option I have, which I'm definitely going to consider doing it because I'm sick and tired of the crap that I get from Optimum. They are a horrible service. I can tell you that much. And I'm coming out here on my program. Do not get Optimum. They are horrible. The service is horrible, and they can sue me if they want, but they are horrible. Horrible, horrible. And you heard it here first from John. Tell them Johnny G told you so. Anyway, let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. We head to Detroit, Michigan for this next group. Their debut single came out in 1954 on the Aladdin label. They were known as the Five Pearls with that Aladdin release, but then they signed with Atco Records, shortening it to just the Pearls. And this is their second release on the Atco label, and it features the unmistakable voice. I mean, this guy has really an unmistakable voice, and the lead here is Howard Guyton. He is the lead. This one from March 56, The Pearls on Atco. It's called Bells of Love.
You know I love you, darling. about you. They say that it's so. Thrill me the first time I kissed you. The bells say I missed you. I want you to know.
Say you'll be mine, make life divine, be my rising sun. Choirs will sing, joy you will bring, when we are one.
Love you, darling, I love you. The bells ring about you. They say that it's
Those are the Pearls. The Pearls there, March 1956 on the Atco record label, Bells of Love. I love that record. I like that better than their other release on Atco Records. Features Howard Guyton on lead there. Now, after this release, they signed with Jerry Winston's Onyx record label. They had some pretty big New York hits, by the way, the Pearls. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening spinning my original vinyl 45s, and I apologize for the buffering here. I'm telling you, I am switching this service because I've had enough. They've given me credits, but it's not worth it. It really isn't. Too many headaches I have with, and I've been with them since the 70s. But they were taken over by I don't know how many companies, but with these internet services, it's not good. They couldn't help me. Even their technical people were horrible. I mean, I gave them a nasty. They asked me, and listen, I tell you, when you ever get, I had to go to CVS I had to get cards. There were no cards in the store. I needed 2 confirmation cards. If you were getting married this weekend and you went to CVS, you could not get a wedding card because there were no wedding cards. I'm looking for confirmation cards. And then my mother needed a birthday card for someone that was 75. I'm looking and there was 90. There was 90. Well, is anybody alive 90 anymore? I don't know with this sickness, but there was 90, 85, there was 50, and there was 65, but no 75, no 70. There, if you were getting married and wanted to get a card there were none. I did find some card, but I said, look, I know it might not be your fault, but there were no cards in the store. I said, this is horrible, and my internet service is horrible. Sorry for Johnny G venting, but thank you all for listening to my venting. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Up next, a special dedication from listener Emnon to Daniel Kubacki. Now, this group's first release was called Ladis, that came out on the Playback record label. I have that 45, by the way. Not in great shape, but I have that record. But this was their second release, which I think originally came out on the Playback label, but only on a 78, and then it was picked up by High Weiss and put out on his Paradise record label. And this tune was written by the lead singer, Milton Turner. So this is a special request, dedication from Emnon, sending it out to Daniel Kubacki, the Packards, from August 56 on Paradise. It's called Ding Dong.
Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong.
Ding dong.
Ding dong, the bells are ringing. Ding dong, the angels singing. Ding dong, the bells are ringing for you and I. Ding dong, the bells
never let me go. Ding dong, the bells are ringing. Ding dong, the angels singing. Ding dong, the bells are ringing for you and I. Let me go. Ding dong, the bells are ringing. Ding dong, the angels singing. Ding dong, the bells are ringing for you and I. Ringing for you and I.
August 56 there for the Packards on the Paradise record label. Their tune, that's the original version of the song Ding Dong. That was also done by the Echoes on the G label. They did a cover of that, but that's requested for Daniel Kubacki by listener Emnon. Let's continue here as we move into 1957. Now, on last week's show, I opened up the vocal portion with Donnie Elbert with his second of 7 for Deluxe. It was called Believe It or Not, and it was George Tompkins and Darrell Letts that requested the flip side. So let's give a listen to the flip side before it goes back down in the no humidity basement. We go back to July 1957 on Deluxe Records with Donnie Elbert and his tune called Tell Me So.
Don't
That's the great Donnie Elbert there. That group came in midway through the record, made it sound really, really good. Donnie Elbert there and a group, uncredited group, July 1957, going out to George and Darrell on Deluxe Records. Tell Me So. That's their second of 7 for the Deluxe label. We head to California next, and last week I featured Johnny Woodson and the Crescendos by request for Nick Nicola on the Spry record label. Now, the song was called Dreamer From My Heart. Of course, I had the wrong title when I read it off because I was talking about this jump flip, but let's give a listen to the jump flip before I file it back down in the no humidity basement. This is co-written by the lead singer, Johnny Woodson here. Late 57, although it sounds a little earlier to me. It's on Spry Records out of California. Johnny Woodson and the Crescendos. It's called All That's Good.
All that's good, ain't it? All that's good, ain't it? All that's good, yeah. That's good, that's good, that's good, that's good.
Rock and roll like a teenager should. I can't do the chicken, but I wish I could, 'cause all that's good.
All that's good,
Yeah, all that's good.
all that's good,
All that's good, goody baby, all that's good.
that's good, that's good, that's good.
Bobby socks, blue jeans too. Teach me how to do the chicken with you, 'cause all that's good.
All that's good,
Yeah, all that's good.
all that's good,
All that's good, goody baby, all that's good.
that's good, that's good, that's good. All that's good, ain't it? All that's good, ain't it? All that's good, yeah. That's good, that's good, that's good, that's good.
Meet me on the drag strip a 4:15. Pull out the throttle and go, man, go, 'cause all that's good.
All that's good,
Yeah, all that's good.
all that's good,
All that's good, goody baby, all that's good.
that's good, that's good, that's good.
One milkshake, French fries too. Let's have a party, just me and you, 'cause all that's good.
All that's good,
Yeah, all that's good.
all that's good,
All that's good, goody baby, all that's good.
that's good, that's good, that's good. All that's good, ain't it? All that's good, ain't it? All that's good, yeah. That's good, that's good, that's good, that's good.
We've changed the rings, I've learned the chicken too. I'm so glad I'm going steady with you, 'cause all that's good.
All that's
Oh yeah,
good.
now all that's good.
All that's good,
All right, now all that's good, goody baby, all that's good.
that's good, that's good, that's good, yeah. All that's good, ain't it? All that's good, ain't it? All that's good, yeah. That's good, that's good, that's good, that's good. All that's good.
They're from the West Coast, Johnny Woodson and the Crescendos there, late 1957 release on the Spry record label. All That's Good is the name of the tune. All That's Good is on a Saturday evening from 10 to 1 a.m. here on YouTube. We'll be joining the Oldies and More radio crowd at midnight. Be streaming on Oldies and More radio beginning at midnight. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, and we go back to Philadelphia. And last week I featured the Turbans on the Herald label. Played the B-side of their 5th of 6 releases on Herald called By and By. That was for listener Warren Russell. Darrell requested the A-side, and this charted regionally. This was a number 3 record on WILY out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It features the great Al Banks on lead. This one from January 1957, Al Silver's Herald Records, the Turbans with Valley of Love.
Saw my loved one's face. Was it all just a dream or a sad man this tricking scheme. Oh no, now I know it was the valley all along. Oh, when will I find my sweetheart to make her mine? Will she stay far away or come back to me someday? Will I meet her again in the valley all along, where lovers go to dine and dance, and every girl and boy may find romance, and then someday you will meet.
Walking down the street,
And now I hope that I'll see that place once more, that girl for me. I can only think of my dream in the valley all along.
Those are the great Turbans there. The Turbans, by request for Darrell Letts, January 1957 on the Herald record label. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. A couple weeks ago, I played a request for listener John Ferry. He requested the Five Royales, a great group out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. The song was called Think, and I also like the flip side of that, so let's give it a spin before we file it back down in the no humidity basement. This features Johnny Tanner on lead, the great lead of the Five Royales. May 1957 on the King label. It's called I'd Better Make a Move. The Five Royales.
I'm almost crazy, but I made up my mind. I'm going back home to the girl I left behind. I believe I'd better make a move. Now I've been gone for such a long, long time. I'm tired of lonely nights, and I'm tired of weeping and crying. I believe I'd better make a move. I'm all alone, all by myself.
Man, didn't you know that before you left?
I'm sick and tired of being alone. She won't even answer the telephone. I better move. I better move. I better move. I better move. Yes, I believe. I better make a move. I'm so ashamed to show my face. I know I'm a horse if I never win a race. I believe I better move. Yes, I believe I
That's the sound of the 5 Royales on the King record. Whoa, I didn't shut that. Whoa. Why did that go? Did I press the wrong thing? Hold on, we're not going to do that yet. Because Johnny, you see what it is? It's a chain reaction from optimum to my brain to drive me wacky and to drive you guys wacky. There's no reason. I'm looking at my Taskmaster here and my OBS, which I stream on. It seems it's telling me the power usage is very high, but as long as I have 36 CPU, I seem to be okay. Then something else kicks in. I got all this crap running here, so maybe I just need to delete everything off this and just but a lot of stuff is at 0. There is nothing here. Google Chrome, I'm telling you, there's nothing else on here. Everything else is a 0. Everything is very low, but my OBS is very high. I use that to broadcast here. That gives me the better quality. They say that's the better quality to broadcast. Maybe Rick and Philly, you know something a little different than I do as far as the broadcasting goes, but it's a pain in the neck when you can't get the service. And I pay a lot of money. They're giving me like $150 off my bill because I complained, and it still is crappy. Anyway, I don't know. We go by streams of having nice streaming, and then all of a sudden it backs out. But anyway, let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. We go back to Philadelphia now, and this is a girl group out of Philly, and it's the flip side from last week, as George Tompkins requested both sides of this 45 on Kay Williams' Kaiser label. Last week I featured the side Living One Day at a Time. The flip is equally as good, and this is with Howard Biggs and the orchestra. This is going out to George Tompkins, a great two-sided girl group sound by the Edwards Sisters from March 57, Kaiser Records out of Philadelphia. It's called Don't Make Me Cry Again. That's by request for George Tompkins, the Edwards Sisters, March 1957 release on the Kaiser label, Don't Make Me Cry Again. Maybe the video's going to make Johnny G cry again because going bonkers again for some reason. Got all my programs up here. I mean, nothing's really running. It's so weird it is. Let's continue now. And we head back to California to Eddie and Leo Mesner's Aladdin record label for this trio. I'm guessing it's a trio because they're called Two Queens and a King. And the tune is written by Wanda Fuller, and she must be one of the two queens. Maybe some of you have not heard this song before, but it's from March 57 on Aladdin Records, Two Queens and a King. It's called Set Me Afire.
Set me afire, then you leave me on my desire. What is it? Leave me on my, I'm yours. We belong together forever. Ooh, forever. Ooh, you said you love me, you told me lie. Why did you do it? Tell me why. Why? You're mine, I'm yours. We belong together forever. Ooh, forever. Ooh, you know, my darling, that I love you. You say that you want me, but that isn't true. You say that you love me, and that is a lie. Why set me afire, then you leave me on my desire. What is it? Me or I'm yours. We belong together forever. Ooh, forever. Ooh, you know, my darling, that I love you. You say that you want me, but that isn't true. You say that you love me, and that is a lie. Why set me afire, then you leave me on my desire. What is it? Me or mine, I'm yours. We belong together forever. Ooh, forever. Ooh, forever. Ooh, forever.
Johnny G is going to be set afire in a minute, I can tell you that much. Two Queens and a King, March 1957 on the Aladdin record label. See, I am ahead of you guys. You are actually I am much ahead of you for some reason, and I don't know why. I guess maybe it has something to do with the streams, but I see the stream is going in and out. It's so weird. It really is. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. We head to Harlem, New York for this next request. For Joe Shacatano, it's on Danny Robinson's Everlast record label. It's their second of 5 on the label, and the follow-up to their biggest hit, you know, the song Desiree was this group's biggest hit, and they followed it up with a song called Dance Girl, but Joe requested the B-side to Dance Girl, co-written by the lead singer Joe Greer. From October 57, these are the charts going out to Joe Shacatano on Everlast. It's called Why Do You Cry?
You good night. Why do you say you love me so? And when a moment ago I asked you what is love, and you clearly said, well, I don't know. Could ago I asked you what is love, and you clearly said, well,
That's the great sound of the charts here on the Buffering Johnny G show. And those are the charts there on the Everlast record label, Danny Robinson's Everlast Records, October 1957. Why Do You Cry? The flip side of Dance Girl. Let's continue here on the Buffering show. When I call my cable company on Monday and tell them they are crap shoot. But let's continue now and back. We go back to California. Another flip side from last week, as I featured the Cufflinks with an X. They were really the third set of Cufflinks groups. The first group on the Dutone label, that featured Robert Truesdale when they did Guided Missiles. The second group came out on the Challenge label. That features John Jennings. And this is the third group on the Dutone label that was led by Henry Houston. And last week I played the B-side of their release, called My Love Is With You. But here is the A-side, which is a cover. This was first recorded by the Casuals, and it was recorded by the second Cufflinks group on Challenge with John Jennings on lead. But this is the version by the Cufflinks out of California with Henry Houston on lead. And this is a song that I heard on the Gus Gossard show. This is a cover of the Casuals' 57 backbeat release, the Cufflinks here from January 58 on Dutone with their rendition of the tune So Tough.
well, she's so tough. That's why I love her. I met a pretty girl, she's walking down the street. The kind of girl that I'd like to meet. She had soft hair and she's long and fine. Tell me, darling, will you be mine? I know I love you, darling. I'll never let you go. I really love you, darling. So baby, let me hug you. I really love you, darling, and I'll never, never, never let you go. That's why I love her. My girl and I are happy, we are happy as can be. I love her and she likes me. We're gonna stay together, just wait and see. Call it love, baby. Yes, sirree. I know I love you, darling. I really love you too. I really love you, baby. So baby, let me hug you. I really love you, darling, and I'll never let you go. 'Cause she's so tough. That's why I love so tough. Man, she's tough. Man, look at that girl.
Cover tunes here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. The Cufflinks there, Henry Houston on lead. January 58 release, that cover of the Casuals, So Tough on the Dutone record label. The two, this version pales, no, the Casuals version, the original, I think, pales to the other two versions. I agree with Darrell and Reed. Let's continue on Vinyl Treasures. We are in 1958. My other up-tempo opener last week was by a group called The Capitals, the group out of Brooklyn, New York, on the Pet label. The side was called 'Cause I Love You. It was listeners Darrell Letts, Nick Nicole, and George Tompkins asked for the ballad flip side, which I think is equally as good, by the way. And it features Nathaniel Butch Epps on lead. We go back to November of 1958. These are The Capitals on the Pet label. It's not a cheap record. Hard to find on original. It's called Angel of Love.
Now that I found you, want you forever, never forsake you, we'll stay together, 'cause you are my angel of I want your love, yeah. Won't you surrender? 'Cause you are my angel of love. Angel of love. Oh, I prayed every day. Right out of the heavenly blue, someday we'll marry and share each other. We'll raise a family like dad and mother, 'cause you are my angel of love.
Those are the Capitals. The Capitals out of Brooklyn, New York, with Nathaniel Butch Epps on lead, November 1957 on the Pet label. Angel of Love is the name of the tune. Johnny G will be going on Oldies and More Radio at midnight, so if you want to avoid these buffering issues and just hear the show in its normal capacity, maybe the sound is good, maybe the sound is coming through good and it's just the picture. Is that a possibility, or is it the sound that cuts out too? You got to let me know in the chat. I don't know. But something really weird going on here. I don't know what it is. But I wish I was a tech guy. I am not. I wish my nephew was here, but he's in Austin, Texas, working for General Motors. Anyway, let's continue here. Let's go back to Harlem, New York, and a request for George Tompkins. This group first recorded as the Dovers backing up Miriam Great, but then they recorded on their own as the Vocal Tones, had 4 releases on the Apollo label. But George requested their final overall release on George Goldner's Juanita label. That's how I have it. Features Bobby Johnson on lead. This one from September 1958. They're called the Vocal Tones. This is for George on Juanita. It's called Walk In With My Baby.
Boom 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 boom. Dum dum de doo, dum dum de doo, dum 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 de doo. Oh, diddle dum diddle dum diddle dum. 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 Oh, dum 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 de
about the love that he had for me. As I held her in my arms, I captured all her charm. Here's what she said to me. Hey! Now my loving baby was meant just for you. And if you leave me, what shall I do? I was walking with my baby last night. We started talking about the love that she had for me. As I held her in my arms, I captured all her charm. Here's what she said to me.
Those are the vocal tones there going out to George Tompkins. September 58 on the Juanita record label. Walking with My Baby is the name of the tune. I'm missing a record on the Juanita record label. Can anybody guess what that is? They're called the Harlequins. I know one turned up. I forget who got it. Greg Surik called me. I forget one of the years. It went to Allentown, Pennsylvania, and it was there during the week. So somebody had it in one of the rooms. He goes, I missed the Harlequins on the Juanita label. I said, well, who got it? I don't know who got it. Somebody got the record. Probably, one of the guys to resell it, of course, because that is on my want list. I have never seen that record, really. The Harlequins on the Juanita label. Let's continue here. We are in 1958. We go back to Philadelphia. Lots of Philadelphia requests tonight. Thank you all for your Philly requests. But this is a request for Nick Nicola, Rare 45 on the Rulu label. I like both sides of this record, by the way. Nick requested the ballad. It's from June of 1958. They're called the Vernales, Vernalls, because that will come into play after I play it. We'll talk about it. The Vernales on the Rulu label. This is going out to Nick. It's called Raindrops.
Raindrops fall
As by request for Nick Nicole, the great sound of the Vernales. June 1958's on the Rulu record label, song entitled Raindrops. The presses are grainy, although I have to be thankful my press isn't really so bad. But those are the Vernales, spelled Vernalls. Now, after this release, the group sort of disappeared for a number of years, but then they returned in 61 as the Vernales, Nells, with an E. They had two nice releases on the Arnold label. One of them is Day in Court. Have you had your day in court yet? I have had a day in court. Me and Barbara had a day in court one time. Anyway, we won't talk about it here. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. We are in 1958. Last week, I played a request for Nat Papagallo by Willis Sanders and the Embers. And the record first came out on the Millionaire record label, which I don't own, but I had a Unart press that I featured, and the song was called Lovable You. But my late Aunt Mary, she liked the flip side of that 45. I used to play it for her, and I found it at a flea market. I said, Mary, you know this song? And she liked this side. This is from October 1958, Willis Sanders and the Embers on the Unart label. It's called Honey Bun.
Honey bun, honey bun. For I say, baby, I mean you, young lady, don't you tell me, maybe, won't you be my honey bun, for in my heart, dear, there's a love for you there, wanna hold you so near. Oh, won't you be my honey bun, honey bun? I wanna be the one you love, 'cause you're the one I'm dreaming of. If there's a chance, don't tease me so, I don't wanna let you go. So please, baby, you know you amaze me. Stop my going crazy. Oh, won't you be my honey bun, honey bun? Boo, boo, shaboo, yeah, yeah, shaboo, 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 boo, shaboo, 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 yeah, yeah, shaboo, 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 honey bun, honey bun. I wanna be the one you love, 'cause you're the one I'm dreaming of. If there's a chance, don't I don't wanna let you go. So please, baby, you know you amaze me. Stop my going crazy. Oh, won't you be my honey bun, honey bun? Boo, boo, shaboo, yeah, yeah, shaboo, 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 whoa, 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 shaboo, 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 shaboo. Honey bun, honey bun, honey bun, honey bun, honey bun, honey bun, honey bun.
October 1958 release there for, well, who's called Doom to Decline? I can't meet with my students now. Unbelievable. Anyway, October 1958 release there for Willis Sanders and the Embers on the Unart record label, song entitled Honey Bun. As we welcome in the Oldies and More radio crowd, thank you all for tuning in to the Vinyl Treasure Show with your host, Johnny G. We are buffering tonight, so anyone who wants to leave the YouTube stream and go to Oldies and More radio, you won't get the buffering there. You'll get a nice stream there, but they like to look at the 45s. That's the exciting part of being a record collector. Let's continue here, and we head to New York City now for the debut single for this next group. It's a request for Rick and Philly as we go to George Goldner's Bernice record label, and this is their first release for a group known as the Starfires, and it features Wally Osborne on lead. So this is going out to Rick from 1958, the Starfires on Bernice. It's called called Yearning for You.
Why can't you love me like you never have loved before? Why must I go on begging for your love, which I need?
Going out to Rick and Philly, the Starfires there. 1958 on the Bernice record label, Yearning for You. Wally Osborne, he's the lead singer. They have other releases. I know on the D&H label I have that one, and also on the Bargain labels. And that's not an easy record to find, by the way. I have 3 records on this label. I have Billy the Kid and the Supremes. I have this one, and I have a single artist label on this Bernice. It's a George Golner label or something that he got involved with somebody on this Bernice label, as he did. He was a very good businessman, you have to say that. Him and what's his name? George Mottola. I call him the West Coast George Golner. Anyway, let's continue here. We are in the year 1958. We got a great California sound up next. Actually, I featured the Turks on the Keen label last week for Joe Shacatano. The side Joe requested was called OK, and Nick asked for the flip side of this. It's with Bumps Blackwell and his orchestra. It features Gaynell Hodge on lead. He also wrote the tune, another great two-sided 45 by this great group called the Turks, April 1958 on the Keen label, and it's called Father Time. This is going out to Nick.
Oh, Father Time, you keep ticking away. Oh, Father Time, minutes into hours, and hours into days. You just keep ticking. Always. Oh, Father Time.
That's the great sound of Gaynell Hodge and the Turks. April 58 release on the Keen record label, and their tune called Father Time, the flip side of OK. We are in 1958. Let's head back to Harlem, New York with a request for Joe Shacatano. This is on Paul Winley's Cyclone label, and here are the great Jesters. They had two lead singers, Lenny McKay, and then the high falsetto voice of Adam Jackson. And this is a request for Joe Shacatano from June 1958, the Jesters on the Cyclone label. It's called Now That You're Gone, for Joe.
Now that you're gone, I sit in my window and cry,
the memories I had of you. Your love was so untrue. I can't sleep at night, darling, now that you're gone. Oh, sweetheart, you made my life worth living. I had nothing to give. Carry your heart and don't get it more. My boy, I do the lovely things we used to do. I'm all alone and feeling blue. I cried just for you, darling, now that you're gone.
That's the great sound of the Jesters there by request. For Joe Shacatano, the Jesters, June 1958 on the Cyclone label. Now That You're Gone is the name of the tune. There's another very rare record on Cyclone Records by the Calendars. That was a bidding war on eBay. I will have to say I did pay a lot. I think it's the only documented, well, maybe there's not. I think Warren told me there was another sale of that record, but maybe somebody, I paid a lot for it. It was actually, who sold me that record? You know who sold me that record? George Lavatelli, because I'm surprised he had that, because I thought everybody went through his stuff, but he posted that record on eBay, and I think I outbid Fred Bond on that record, if I'm not mistaken, that other Calendars record. Anyway, Johnny G here on a Saturday evening. If you're new to the program, please, those of you watching on YouTube, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I got to get a new internet service, because I think it's okay now. I don't know, it was going in and out all night. I have to apologize for that. But I'm also streaming on the Oldies and More network, so you can tune into that stream. And if you have a request, you can send it to me at vinyltreasures@aol.com. If you're new to the show, been lots of new members coming to the show over the last few months. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for your requests as we continue through our vinyl community here, because that's what it is, at least on YouTube. It is a vinyl community of people that are collecting music, and we're keeping it alive 45 here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. And here is a rare record here coming up, a request for listener Amnon. This 45 is out of the San Francisco Bay Area, and unfortunately the pressings, or some of the pressings that have come out of the San Francisco area on labels like Skylight, for instance, that Leo Valentine record, and also the William Wigfalls on that label, they don't play that well. They're great sounding records, but they just don't play well. I don't know what they use, the mechanism, if they're hand pressed or what, but this pressing is not that good. And the date of this is 1958. Many say, I said 1963. There is no way this record came out in 63. And I date it because if you listen to the flip side, it's kind of a novelty tune, or like an answer to Western movies by the Olympics. So I say this record came out in 1958. They're called the Tiffany's, and it's by request for Amnon. It's on the Rockin' Robin label, and the song is called I've Got a Girl, but it doesn't play well. Listen. That's going out to listener Amnon. They're called the Tiffany's. They're out of the San Francisco Bay Area. Rockin' Robin Records, 1958. I've Got a Girl is the name of that one. Let's continue. We have more in 1958. We actually go back to Gary, Indiana. We heard from the Spaniels earlier. This next group is called the Senators, not to be confused with the group from Washington, D.C. This is on a label called Bristol Records, which is out of Hammond, Indiana, and features Delroy Bridgman. He's the lead singer on this. We go back to March of 1958 for the Senators on the Bristol label and their tune called Scheming.
well, oh well, oh well, oh well. I'm scheming, darling. Oh yes, I'm scheming, darling. Oh, I'm scheming for your love. Well, well, oh well. I'm dreaming, baby. I wanna hold you oh so badly. Oh yes, I'm scheming for your love. I'll never let another one take your place for me. And now I'm making all my plans. That's the way that it's just got to be. Well, well, well. Yes, I'm scheming, darling. Oh, I wanna hold you oh so badly. Oh yes, I'm scheming for your love. Scheming, 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 scheming. Oh well, oh well, oh well, oh well. I'll never let another one take your place for me. And now I'm making all my plans. That's the way that it's just got to be. Well, well, well. Yes, I'm scheming, darling. Oh, I wanna hold you oh so badly. Oh, I'm scheming for your love. Scheming, scheming. I'm scheming for your love.
That's the sound of the Senators. The Senators out of Gary, Indiana. March 1958 on the Bristol record label Scheming. And we have the internet. We got the internet widget scheming against Johnny G tonight with the buffering issue, so I have to apologize for that, but hopefully everything is going okay so far, so good. Thank you all for tuning into the Vinyltreasure Show. If you're new to YouTube, please subscribe to my station, click the bell to get notifications, and we welcome in the Oldies and More Radio Network. Hope you're enjoying these 1950s and early 60s tunes. By the way, this Senators group, they have one more release on the Abner label. I have that one. I don't know if I played that on the show. The Senators on the Abner label, the same group as this group that recorded for Bristol. Let's continue here. We move into 1959 as we go back to the state of Florida with a request for Nick Nicola. Now, this group, they're from Largo, Florida. Their first releases were on the Trideck and the Nugget labels. Then this is their third overall release on the Dream label. The song written by the lead singer, his name is Ralph Stewart, and he also was the lead guitarist for the group. So this is going out to Nick Nicola, Rare 45 on the Dream label by the Dreamers from October 59. It's called Seconds. This is for Nick.
It was second. It was minute. It was hour. It was day. It was months. It was years. It's been a long and lonely time. I know that our love is here to stay. It's been seconds. It's been minutes. Yes, it's been hours. It's been days. It's been months. It's been years. Oh, it's been a long, lonely time. And I know that your love's here to stay. Oh, how time passes ever so slow. Yeah, my time is you. There's not much time I
October 59 release there for the Dreamers. It's on the Dream record label. That's going out to Nick Nicola. Song entitled Seconds. Yes, Seconds that it's actually hours we've been here. And this is part 2 of the Buffering Johnny G show. Let's continue here. And we go back to Philadelphia now. And last week I played a request for Rick in Philly. He requested the Ebeneers on the Lena label, featured the side Somewhere in My Heart. But Darylette's requested the flip side. This one from January 59. These are the Ebeneers. This brings me back to oldie radio. Back in the 1970s, these are the Ebeneers on Lena with their tune called Love Call.
This is my love call.
Yes, Evan, there is a little bit of an edge warp on there. You got good eyes. You can see, or is it my webcam that is so clear? Anyway, I wish it was playing well all night long, though. That is by request for Darylette's, the Ebeneers. The Ebeneers from January 1959 on the Lena label, song entitled Love Call. You know, you can get this on the Cameo label. They reissued it with the Oldies Revival in 1964. It's flipped with a cool a cappella song by the Camelots, Don't Leave Me Baby, which, by the way, is also on the Anko label for you collectors out there. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening. Hope you're digging on the tunes. Those of you tuned into the Oldies and More Radio Network and also on YouTube, thank you all for tuning in and being part of our vinyl community tonight, as I'll be back on Monday evening from 8 to 11 for my All 60s show. So we welcome the vinyl community back on Monday evening. Let's continue here. And we go to New Haven, Connecticut with a request for listener Joe Shacatano. This is their second release on Clarence Drum's Elgin record label. And this is the A-side. And this is by Bill Baker. Bill Baker, who was also a member of the Five Satins. He filled in when Fred Paris was in the service, but here he is with his group, the Chestnuts. This is on the Elgin record label, January 59. Give a listen to Bill Baker and the Chestnuts on Elgin. It's going out to Joe Shacatano. It's called Won't You Tell Me My Heart.
you tell me my heart? Is it fated to be? Won't you tell me my heart? Is her love meant for me? And when I kiss her, does she really care? Or am I just to her another brief affair? Won't you tell me my heart? While I'm holding her tight, is there somebody else? She wants through the night. Will she be my love forever? Or were we meant to part? Won't you please tell me now? Won't you tell me my heart? Won't you tell me my heart? Won't you tell me my heart?
As by request for Joe Shacatano there, the great Bill Baker and the Chestnuts, January 1959 on the Elgin record label, Won't You Tell Me My Heart. That was out of the library of a Maine radio station, WPEP. I went to the Connecticut show. Where was the Connecticut show? I forget where it was. Those two women, they would be there. It was in Waterbury, Connecticut. I used to go to that show, and I used to meet all the Connecticut collectors. So I get there early, and Jerry Smith shows up with all these white boxes of 45s, the 45 boxes. So I was there early, and he goes, Johnny G, you want to look at these records? They're all from radio station WPEP. They had, the Clickettes and the Sheiks on Amy, and the Radiance, Ra-Cha-Cha. There were all these cool records. So Dick Blackburn comes walking by and he goes, Johnny, are you buying all these records? And I said, yeah, I'm buying all these records. And it was I think I must have spent about $3,000 when it was all said and done. He gave me a great break. I think he gave me like $800 off. It was like $3,800. And he said, Johnny, give me three. I mean, that's a great deal. And it's unfortunate that, Jerry Smith passed away. He died in a head-on collision. Somebody was coming in and he was in Massachusetts. He was a big New England Patriots fan. He says, Johnny G, if there's a New England Patriots are playing, I can't go to the record show. And he used to sell on eBay. And then I found out that somebody was going down a one-way street, and he didn't see it, and there was a head-on collision. He unfortunately passed away. But he was a great guy. I met a lot of nice dealers in my collecting career that are no longer with us, unfortunately. But anyway, memories of Jerry Smith. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. And this is actually a request. Actually, Rick in Philly requested the flip side of this. He requested the Earthquakes. The side was called Darling Be Mine, and listeners Darrell Letts, Nick Nicola, George Tompkins requested the flips. And actually, it was a request. I played a request for Daniel. Wait, I don't know who I played this for. Request for Daniel Kubacki. Oh, that's what it was. I played a request for Daniel Kubacki by the Earthquakes. called Darling Be Mine, and listeners Daryletts, Nick, George, and Rick in Philly asked me to flip it over. That's what it is. I didn't get to rewrite this. That's the issue. But anyway, it's from November of 1959. We love the Earthquakes here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. It's on the Fortune record label. It features Armand Abry on lead. He would later on record as Orlando King. And when I first met Barbara, I was a bashful guy. These are the Earthquakes with Bashful Guy on the Fortune label.
Boom, 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 boom.
Bashful guy, can't say the things that I feel down inside. Oh, say oh, whenever you pass by, I'm just a bashful guy.
Boom, 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 boom.
Bashful guy, you know I've loved you for a long, long time. Oh, how I yearn to make you mine, but I'm a bashful guy. I'd like to tell you how loved you are, that your eyes twinkle like a shining star. I'd like to tell you that I love you so, but how could you know until one day saw another fella start to walk your way? I knew I'd lose you if I stayed a bashful guy. And so I told you how loved you are, that your eyes twinkle like a shining star. And so I told you you're meant for me, and our love will last for eternity. So you bashful guys, don't keep your heart hidden deep down inside. Tell her you love her with all of your might. Don't be a bashful guy.
You hear that cold ending, and then there's the chatter at the end of that. They messed that up. Anyway, those are the those are the Earthquakes there, November 1959. That's on the Fortune record label. Song entitled Bashful Guy. Johnny G, not a bashful guy, not anymore, when I'm doing the Vinyl Treasure Show for you, the listeners to Vinyl Treasures on Oldies and More and YouTube. Let's continue now. And this next artist was a member of the Sandmen that recorded for the OK record label back in 1955. His name is Walter Springer, and this is his second of two on K. Williams' Kaiser record label, and this is a request for listener George Tompkins, a great tune from April 59. Walter Springer on Kaiser. It's called Everything. This is for George.
Everything, yes, everything. That's just what you are to me. My life, my hope, and all my dreams. You are my destiny. Everything, yes, everything. The answer to all my prayers. And I feel just like a king, knowing there's someone who cares. Oh, the night you told me you loved me, my heart was so full of joy. Darling, you made me so happy.
live just to give everything to you. Everything to you.
As by request for George Tompkins there, that's Walter Springer, April 1959, and a wonderful group backing him up there on the Kaiser record label out of Philadelphia, a song entitled Everything. Johnny G doesn't have everything. I have a lot, but I don't have everything. That is for sure. I wish I had everything, but I can't. You can't have everything. You can't always get what you want. You can't have everything. I try to, though, as you can see. So let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. We are in 1959. I'm sure many of you know Jerry Butler used to be the lead singer for a group called The Impressions, but Jerry left sometime in the fall of 1958 for a solo career, and group member Curtis Mayfield, who wrote many of the songs for the group, he took over as the lead singer, and here is one I really like and a song that he wrote. This was recorded in 1958, but they released it in January of 59. We go back to January 59 on the Abner label for The Impressions, with Curtis Mayfield on lead, and their tune called Senorita, I Love You. I don't want that. I knew there was something messed up with this.
Hey, senorita, just thought I'd drop a line, say I'm in love, oh yeah, for the very first time. Though it is hard to say, still I feel very gay. Senorita, yes, it's you I love. Senorita, still you I'm thinking of. I love you, Senorita. Thrills I get when you hold me tight. I could stay in your loving arms all night, senorita. I love you more and more, senorita. You're what my love is for. I love you, senorita. When I kiss you with all your charms, I sink in your loving arms. Darling, yes, you're my only desire. Baby, doll, you set my heart on fire. Honey, I just don't know what to say. When I see you, I just feel so gay. When I kiss you and your lips close to mine, chills go down my spine. Senorita, I just don't know what to do. Senorita, I just can't stop loving you. Oh, I love you so, senorita. Senorita. Ooh.
January 59 release there for The Impressions. Curtis Mayfield and The Impressions. Senorita, I Love You on the Abner record label. Rita, you talking about the VJ release of that, which I think is the second. I think the VJ release is the second. The Black VJ label is the second. Anyway, let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. We are in 1959. This next singer, he's out of Philadelphia, PA. His name is Samuel Sonny Fulton, and his first release was on the Sunbeam label. He sang with a group called the Mixers. This, I think, might be his second release on the Chelsea label. He just gets credit. There's group backing on this, but he doesn't. There's an uncredited group. It's not mentioned on the label, and I have a stock copy and I have a promo copy of this. I need my head examined. That's what I need. But it's October 1959. This is by request for listener Tom Shaughnessy. Tom, was I buffering on your ITV? Hopefully I was not. That must have caused you caused a lot of havoc this evening. Anyway, October 59, Sonny Fulton and group on the Chelsea label. It's going out to Tom. It's called Honest I Do. As by request for Tom Shaughnessy, October 59 release for Sonny Fulton and group. I don't think it's the Mix Masters. I have mixers on here. Charlene's going to change that. It's Honest I Do. It's on the Chelsea record label. The tune, it's a song he wrote. It's produced by Doc Bagby. He had other releases. I have him on Lash, I think on Big Daddy, and also on United Artists Records. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Here's a request for Nat Papagallo as we go to Detroit, Michigan. This is their, I think this is the group's debut single. This is on the first label. I'm featuring it on the first label, Jam Records. It was second pressed on Twin Star. They're called the Arabians, and this is the same group that would have excellent soul releases as Edward Hamilton and the Arabians on Landrod and Carrie and Mary Jane. But initially they were known as the Arabians. This is from 1960. This is on the Jam label, featuring it on Jam Records. The Arabians, going out to Nat. It's called Heaven Sent You.
darling. He knew that I love her. You bet. Whoa, come down, come on down, come on down, come on
As by request for Nat Papagallo, the Arabians. The Arabians from 1960. It's on the Jam record label. Song entitled Heaven Met You. You can also get that one on the Twin Star label. It's cheaper on Twin Star Records. I paid $100 for this record at one of the Allentown shows from Ken Benedict from Florida. He had that 45. He did. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening. Hope you're digging on the 1950s and early 60s 45s out of my collection. And this is an ultra rare 45, this next one. I don't know many guys or many collectors, I won't say all guys, because there are a lot of girl collectors that have this 45. It doesn't play well, unfortunately, for some reason. It doesn't play well. I don't know. I wonder if they're all like that. I don't know. But this one does not. Now, the singer, he's out of Chicago, Illinois, and really his claim to fame was that he eventually became the manager of the Buckinghams when they recorded for the USA record label. They had their big hit, Kind of a Drag. He was the group's manager back then. He was also a disc jockey for various Chicago radio stations as a young kid, and actually prior to that, he was a singer, and he owned this label at 19 years old. It was called Impala Records. His name is Carl Bonafide, and this is his debut single, a song he wrote and produced. The music is by John Sills and his Rhythm Jets. It's really a rare 45. I think they booted an EP or something of his, but this is the 45. Actually, both sides are pretty decent. It's on the Impala label. It came out in April of 1960. His name is Carl Bonafide, and it's an up-tempo tune, and this is the up-tempo side. It's called 2 Months Out of School, and like I said, it doesn't play well.
Yeah.
And maybe you guys are right. Maybe this is pressed at the or recorded at Devorah Brown's Fortune Studios. It has that Fortune sound. The grooves are really close together, but it's a rare record by Carl Bonafide. Carl Bonafide and group April. Actually, it sounded like Len Barry a little bit on that. Anyway, April 1960 on the Impala label. 2 months out of school. I think the flip's a ballad. The flip's a ballad it is. We'll play it next week. Let's continue. Here's a request for Evan Blatt. This is on Clarence Johnson's CJ record label, and it appears that Danny Robinson has the publishing rights on this, Everlast Publishing, but it's by J.D. Bryant and the Magic Knights. I think it's their debut single for J.D. Bryant. This is from April of 1960 on the CJ record label. Going out to Evan, J.D. Bryant and the Magic Knights. It's called Searching for Tomorrow.
Searching for tomorrow. Oh, love to share. Not one to bring sorrow, but someone to care. I'm searching for tomorrow, to make my future bright. Not one to bring sorrow, but one that is right. Searching for tomorrow. Can't you help me, my dear? I'm never lost sparrow with no one to care. Someone
As by request for Evan Blatt, they like that tune there in the YouTube chat room. April 1960, J.D. Bryant and the Magic Knights on the CJ label out of New York City, Searching for Tomorrow. Had other releases on Herald, Alpha, and Enjoy. I have those 45s. As we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, here's one for Rick in Philadelphia. Really don't know much about this artist. Her name is Nelvin Elder, and this is on Bob Shad's Brent record label. And actually, I have a couple copies of this record. This is not the copy, but my other copy, a promo, belonged to Pittsburgh DJ Mad Mike Metrovich. I think he passed away October 31st of 2000. I used to see him at the Allentown record shows. I mean, if you saw this guy, he was always dressed in fatigues, and he had this long beard. It looked like he looked like he was, he was unkempt, and he was walking around, and I'm going, that's Mad Mike. It was kind of sad to see what happened to Mad Mike, but something happened to him, I think, because he was at the record show and he was looking at the records, but he was a very popular disc jockey in the Pittsburgh area, and he passed away on October 31st of 2000. I forget when I saw him. I had to be before that. Tell you that I was going to those Allentown shows before that, but and he was kind of similar to Porky Chedwick, and he would put out compilation LPs. Oldie compilation is Mad Mike's Moldy Oldies. And not on this one, but the other one I have, he would write on the records in Blue Point blue ballpoint pen, and he would say Mad Mike, great radio. I think on this one he put down Slow Dance, but this is a request for Rick and Philly. Her name is Nelvin Elder, and there's a group backing her up. It's December 61 on Brent. It's called I Dream.
I dream, I dream, I dream, I dream, I dream of you. I dream, I dream, I dream, I dream, I dream of you.
I dream of you.
I dream
almost every night. I dream of you.
I dream
when you're not inside. My every prayer. That's why I dream of you. I dream of you. When the day is through, I rush to sleep just to be with you. You're my every prayer. That's why I dream of you. If I had to pay a price to dream, beg, borrow, and steal is what I do. I would sell my heart and soul just so I could be with you. I dream of you when the day is through. I rush to sleep just to be with you. You're my everything. That's why I dream of you.
That's by request for Rick and Philly. Great record there by Nelvin Elder and a group, December 61 on the Brent record label I Dream. Let's continue here on the Vinyltreasure show. Really can't tell you much about this next group. They're called the N-Chords, Enchords. But this one came out on the Laurie record label. I have the nice vinyl promo, and I also have a I think I also have a California press on this, but it's not a promo. Well, it is a promo copy. I don't know if this came out on stock, but I like this song. This is from March of 61. They're called the N-Chords, Enchords on Laurie. It's called I Need You, Baby.
I need you, baby.
Please come back to me. Say you love me.
You are my
They're called the N-Chords, March 61 on the Laurie label, I Need You Baby. Flip Side will be spinning next Saturday night, so stay tuned for that. We continue here. We go to the Four Star record label, mostly known for country, but there are 4 Group 45s on this label, and this is a request for listener Joe Shacatano, so this is one of them by a group called the Willows, not to be confused with the Church Bells May Ring group. This is a totally different Willows group. This one from August 61. These are the Willows on 4 Star, going out to Joe. Now That I Have You.
Shoot 'em up, shoot 'em up, shoot 'em up, shooby-dooby-doo. Shoot 'em up, ooh, shoot 'em up, ooh, shoot 'em up, ooh, shoot 'em up.
I won't cry anymore now that I have you. I won't cry anymore. I won't be sad and blue. No more counting the tears that I've shed through the years. Now that I have you, I won't hurt anymore. Darling, can't you see you at last put an end to all this misery? From my heart there's sorrow, comes a bright tomorrow. Now that I found you, the other night you told me that you could love me too. You wore my ring on your finger just to prove what you said was true. I won't cry anymore now that I have you. I won't cry anymore. I won't be sad and blue. No more counting the tears that I've shed through the years. Now that I have
As by request for Joe Shacatano, they love that tune there. By a group called the Willows, August 1961 on the 4 Star record label. Now That I Have You is the name of the tune. Let's continue here. Let's go back to Jerry Blaine's Josie record label with a request for Eddie Brown. Eddie Brown listening in New Zealand, and this tune written by Travis Allen, arranged by Nate Griffin. This charted number 6 on WHYN in Springfield, Massachusetts. Don't know anything else about this group, but they're called the Vital Tones. Actually, both sides of this record are good, but Eddie requested the A-side, the Vital Tones on Josie from August 62. It's called Forever. As by request for Eddie Brown there, the sound of the Vital Tones. August 1962 on the Josie record label. What a great tune that is, song entitled Forever. As we wind down here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, George, you're going to be able to make church tomorrow because we're going to finish pretty soon. And up next, a rare 45 out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's a request for listener Nick Nicola. And this group is called the Fabulous Uptowns. This is on the Tulip record label. This is the side 2. This is the side of the. This is the side. That's the great side. Going out to Nick Nicola, April 62. The Fabulous Uptowns, and it's called New Love I Have Found. This is for Nick.
Let all acquaintance be forgot.
Let old acquaintance be forgot, never brought to my mind. Never brought to my mind. Let old acquaintance be forgot, for this new love I have found. New love I have found. The love
by request for Nick Nicola, the Fabulous Uptowns. Fabulous Uptowns out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, April 1962 on the Tulip record label. New Love I Have Found. That's a rare 45. I will tell you, I paid the lower end of 4 figures for that record because it's impossible really to find that record. Anyway, let's continue here as we wind down here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Here's a request for Joe Shacatano as we head back to New York City to Danny Robinson's Everlast record label. Now, lots of controversy on the release date for this 45s. As some people say, oh, this is from 1958. Well, I say it's from 1962, and I think what Danny Robinson did, I think he stopped the label for a bit, then he started it up again. He resurrected the label, and I can tell you that because the print on this 45 is so much different than the 1958 presses on the Everlast record label. So I think this is an early 60s release. And I don't know anything about the group, though. They're called the Extremes. I'm saying it. The Johnny G year is 1962. This is by request for Joe Shacatano on Everlast. It's called Come Next Spring.
I'll be waiting for you. Funny thing, but what can I know, darling, that I'm still in love with you. Oh, darling, I love you. My heart's been aching since you left me. Please, please, darling, hear my plea. Last spring we were happy. Last spring we were gay. Oh, now, darling, you went away. This spring will be lonely. This spring will be blue. Since, darling, I don't have you. But if you decide to come back to me, I love you until eternity. Oh, 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 come next spring, I'll be waiting for you. Funny thing, but what can I do? You know, darling, that I'm still in love with you.
As by request for Joe Shacatano, they're called the Extremes. Came out on the Everlast record label. I say 1962 release. A song entitled Come Let's Spring is the name of the tune. What do we got? 4 more records to go before we sign off here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. So I was working today on the show, and Charlene messaged me. She said, Johnny, I just saw that Jay Black passed away on Facebook. Well, there was a post on Facebook on the Jay and the Americans site, I guess. So I went there and I checked, and I said, oh, wow, he passed away. I wonder, what happened. But I think he was in failing health, so I don't really know the situation, what happened there. But it's unfortunate because Jay Black, he had such a great voice, and I only remember him because both of my aunts enjoyed Jay and the Americans records, even before Jay. Well, there was first Jay Traynor, then he sort of took over. It was kind of interesting. I remember when the John Gotti trials were on, and I'm looking at the, as John Gotti was walking into the courtroom, and there I see Jay Black there next to him. So I says, oh, wow. But, Jay Black had a gambling, and I was talking to Dave today about it, and we read that he had a gambling addiction also. So there was a lot of problems that he had, but he did such great music. And I said, well, I know a group that he sang with. So I said, I know he did a lead with a group called the Empires on the Epic label. And then I saw a post of Fred Clemens posted and was saying, well, he sang with another group prior to that. Was it Les Lito, Fred? I forget. Les Lito, and I forget what the Consorts. Was that it? But he didn't record with that group. And then he did do a duet, I think is the Two Chaps, which I have on the Atlantic label. But I know he sang lead on this song. His name was David Blatt at the time, out of Brooklyn, New York. And what else I got about this record? And this was a song that he co-wrote, and it's unfortunate that we lost, a great voice. He was known as the Voice, I guess, but this is my tribute to the late Jay Black, even though I'll probably play some 60s records on my 60s show that I like. Actually, my favorite one is Something in My Eye that he does on the album that my other aunt, Antoinette, she used to like. She was the one with the LPs. But anyway, let's give this is my tribute to the late Jay Black, aka David Blatt. August 62. He's doing lead on this on Epic, this Epic release by the Empires, a song he co-wrote. It's called Time and a Place.
Shadows fall, moonbeams shine, night birds call. Now's the time, there's a time and the place for everything. So
endless as time and space. Now that I found you, our love has a chance, for I found the time and the place. The time and the place for everything. So won't you find some time for me?
Those are the Empires there with the late Jay Black, a.k.a. David Blatt at the time, on lead. August 1962 on the Epic record label, song entitled Time and Place. And that's what we are here, a time and a place for who knows how long it is, but just as long as we could, enjoy the music and remember Jay Black and what he left us as far as this wonderful music goes. So that's dedicated to Jay Black. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. 3 more 45s to go before we sign off here. Now, last week I played a request for Matey Campboy on the Times Square record label by a group called the Bel Airs on the I mentioned on Times Square Records, but let's flip it over here because the flip side's pretty cool. I think, Reed, you requested the flip side here. Connie Questel, she was the lead singer of the Decoys, and this she recorded for Anko Records, so I'm sure Times Square purchased this master from Anko Records. Recorded actually May of '63 is what Ferdy Gonzalez says. So this really wasn't. This was actually maybe recorded currently at the time, because Connie Questel and the Decoys on the Anko release, I think that was in early '63, and this one, Ferdy has it May '63, so let's give it a spin here. The Decoys on Times Square Records. This is by request for Reed King. It's called It's Gonna Be All Right.
Boom, 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 boom.
As by request for Reed King there, Connie Questel and the Decoys, May '63 release. On the Times Square record label, It's Gonna Be All Right is the name of the tune. I don't know if it's gonna be all right with this buffering issue, because I'm gonna really drop them. They're gonna be very upset when I tell them I am out. That's my cable company, that is. Let's continue here. 2 more 45s to go before we sign off here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Here's another special request From listener Emnon, he wants to send this one out to my number one California listener, Matey Campboy. This West Coast singer, his name is Art Wheeler, first recorded with a group called the Rhythm Hairs. The Rhythm Airs in 1959 on the Yucca label. But this tune written by Jerry Fuller, produced by Bobby Sanders. We go to the Swingin' record label, 1962. Special request by Emnon to listener Matey Campboy. Give a listen to Artie Wheeler and group on Swingin'. The name of the tune is called Joe Joe.
Last night in my dream, strange it may seem, I found my queen, my JoJo. I go to find her, I must know I love her, but I need her so, my JoJo. I never touch her hand, then I'd fall asleep and never wake, just to be with you in a dreamer's wonderland. And yet I would climb over the mountain to find the girl who haunts my mind, my JoJo. My JoJo. Hey, JoJo. My JoJo.
That's a special request from one listener to another. Listener Emnon requested that tune for Matey Campboy, which she didn't send me her request this week. She said she forgot to send me her request. But anyway, that one there, that's going out to Matey Campboy from Emnon. 1962, Art Wheeler and a group on the Swingin' label. Song entitled JoJo. That's going to do it for Johnny G and the Vinyl Treasure Show. I want to thank you for joining Johnny G, listening to original vinyl 45s out of my collection. You want to get in touch with me, send me an email at vinyltreasures@aol.com. Send me your requests. Let me know your thoughts on the show. Again, I apologize for the horrible buffering that went on this evening. I had to reboot the show. Dave doesn't know that, but I did. But anyway, so, you know, I've had these things that happen from time to time, but it's really nerve-wracking for me. But anyway, thank you all for tuning in this evening. Thank you all, those of you part of the vinyl community or just lovers of the music, as it's a lot of fun for me to put these requests together and feature them and show you these records and share them with you, the listeners. Thank you all for all that great memories that it brings back, and it's just a lot of fun for me. So hopefully it's a lot of fun for you. So thank you, those tuned in on the Oldies and More Radio Network, and also those of you on YouTube. Tell your friends about the show and subscribe to my YouTube website on and click the like button. Tell your friends about it anyway. But I'll be back. I'll be back tomorrow, a Monday evening, at 8 o'clock, 8 to 11 o'clock for mostly some soul records out of my collection. But it's oldies and it's 60s and more. So anyway, tune into if you like 60s, tune into my Monday night show from 8 to 11. I'll be pulling out the records tomorrow for that show. But then I'll be back next Saturday again at 10 o'clock, 10 to 1 a.m. here on YouTube for other cool 45s out of my collection. We're closing the show tonight. Special request for listener John Ferry. This is our closer from February 1963. This song originally recorded by the Drifters back in 1960, written by Jerry Goffin and Carole King. And you all know Little Eva, but Little Eva had a younger sister. Her name was Idalia Boyd, and she tried her luck at singing, but unfortunately this was not really a big hit for her, but it's a nice tune, and it was requested by listener John Ferry. Thank you, John, for requesting this closer. This is our closer tonight on the Dimension label, February 63, Idalia Boyd, going out to John Ferry and her rendition of the tune, Some Kind of Wonderful. Thank you all again. Want everybody to have a safe and happy week. You can go to Johnny G's website, vinyltreasures.net, to stream or download the show there, or you can come back to YouTube and watch it on the archive. Should be interesting to see how the buffering works. Again, everybody have a safe and happy week. I'll see you next Saturday night. Some of you I'll see on Monday evening at 8 o'clock. Just want to say, everybody, so long.
All you have to do is touch my hand. Wonderful. To show me you understand. Wonderful. And something happens to me. Wonderful. That's some kind of wonderful. Anytime my little world is blue. Wonderful. I just have to look at you. Wonderful. And everything seems to be wonderful. Some kind of wonderful. I know I can't express this feeling of tenderness. There's so much I wanna say, but the right words don't come my way. I just know when I'm in your embrace. Wonderful. This world is a happy place. Wonderful. And something happens to me. Wonderful. That's some kind of wonderful. Some kind of sweet lips. Some kind of warm arms. Some kind of soft song. Some kind of wonderful. Some kind of sweet lips. Some kind of warm arms. Some kind of soft song. Some kind of wonderful. Oh, baby, it's so wonderful. Yeah, it's so wonderful. It's so wonderful.
Okay, folks, that's going to do it here. Let's show you the last two records here. This is the other side of this record is good too. This swinging record here by Art Wheeler. It's called Too Late for Tears. I might play it Monday night, the record, because it's kind of got like a good, it's a good up-tempo song, kind of a soulish sound to it. And I always thought the same as you about the Idalia Boyd, but when I was, when John requested the song, and I said, well, yeah, I do have it, and then he mentioned, oh, it's Little Eva's sister, and I said, well, wait a minute, I didn't think it was, but then when I checked, I said, well, John, I know, researched, he interviewed her, he interviewed Little Eva, and I went and I looked, and then he had the note, he said, even her sister Idalia tried her luck at recording but failed. I mean, and I said, well, wow. I says, wherever John heard it was correct. And this is her record. Of course, it's a styrene copy, which I hate. Idalia Boyd, a Goffin King tune. Well, I guess, the Drifters had the hit with it, but it's not really a bad rendition. I think it's actually pretty good. So, John, thank you for requesting that. I haven't played it in a long, long time, too, by the way. But happy to have that. Thank you all again tuning in tonight. Thank you all, the vinyl community here on YouTube. And I apologize for the technical difficulties here. It's kind of annoying. And Dave says it wasn't that bad, but it was. I had to reboot the show. And luckily, I still fit it in time. I'm surprised I'm not here till 2 o'clock. But anyway, that's going to do it, folks. Again, thank you all for being a part of my Saturday evening. And hopefully you enjoyed the tunes I featured tonight. Send me your emails at vinyltreasures@AOL. And also tell your friends about the show as it grows and grows and grows, as I need to get more subscribers to come to the show, because that's very important. So again, thank you all. Thank you, Charlene, again, for all your help. Couldn't do it without you. And I'll see some of you on Monday night at 8 o'clock, and others I'll see back here at 10 p.m. So long, everybody. Take care. Stay safe.